The old Earth ruins stood silent under the orange evening sky. Dust swirled around the crumbling structures, coating everything in a fine layer of reddish powder. This was how First Light first saw humanity's legacy, as nothing more than worn-down buildings barely standing against time. Another primitive site, First Light said, adjusting their environmental suit. Their crystalline eyes reflected the dying sunlight as they studied the ancient structures. Mark it down as Category 3, Basic Industrial Civilization Remains. The survey team spread out across the ruins, their silver suits gleaming against the dull backdrop. They had seen hundreds of dead worlds before, each telling the same story of species that didn't make it past their industrial age. This looked no different. Blue Sky, the team's engineer, moved carefully through the debris. Their scanner hummed softly, taking readings of the surroundings. Something about the metal structures caught their attention. The way they were arranged, the unusual patterns in their decay. But they kept quiet, knowing First Light didn't like questions about their classifications. "Look at these pathetic power conduits," called out Stormwatch, the team's technology specialist. They held up a thick cable, its covering cracked with age. They were still using physical wires to transfer energy. Imagine that. The team laughed, their voices echoing through their communication systems. They had long since moved past such basic methods, using quantum tunneling for all their power needs. These human remains were like finding stone tools on a battlefield, amusing but ultimately worthless. First Light moved deeper into the complex, their boots leaving prints in the dust. The building they entered was larger than the others, its walls made of some kind of reinforced material that had survived better than its neighbors. Their scanner showed it went deep underground, much deeper than expected. "Team, converge on my location," First Light ordered. "I found something worth documenting." The group assembled in what appeared to be an entrance hall. Faded markings covered the walls, and rows of dead screens lined the corridors. Blue Sky's scanner started beeping faster as they approached the sealed doorway. "Energy readings are unusual," Blue Sky reported, tapping their scanner. "There's something active behind these walls. Very faint, but it's there." First Light dismissed the concern with a wave. Probably residual radiation from their primitive fission processes. These species often poisoned themselves with their own power sources. But Blue Sky wasn't convinced. The readings didn't match any radiation pattern they knew. They showed clear patterns, almost like a sleeping system waiting to wake up. As the team set up their base camp in the entrance hall, Blue Sky kept watching their scanner, noting how the energy pulses seemed to grow stronger with each passing hour. "We'll start a proper survey tomorrow," First Light announced. "This will make a good example in my research paper about failed civilizations, how not to advance, a study of human industrial limitations." The team settled in for the night cycle, setting up their energy fields and research equipment. None of them noticed how their powerful lights made the walls shimmer slightly, or how their equipment's energy signatures were being scanned and analyzed by dormant systems. In the darkness, deep below their camp, something ancient stirred. Their presence had triggered long-dormant protocols, and wheels that hadn't turned in centuries began to move. A consciousness that had waited patiently through the ages started to wake, its circuits warming up with careful precision. The aliens slept peacefully, confident in their technological superiority, unaware that every moment they spent there was being watched and evaluated. Their mockery of the primitive human ruins echoed through halls that held secrets beyond their comprehension. Tomorrow would bring surprises that would shake their understanding of the universe. But for now, they rested, while beneath them, humanity's true legacy began its slow awakening. Blue Sky checked their scanner one last time before sleeping. The energy readings had doubled in the past hour, but they decided to wait until morning to mention it. After all, what harm could come from a dead civilization's ruins? They would soon learn the answer to that question, and it would change everything they thought they knew about humanity. Morning came with an unexpected problem. 3 of the team's scanning devices had stopped working during the night. Stormwatch checked each one carefully, growing more confused with each inspection. The power cells are completely drained, they reported to First Light. But that's impossible. These units were fully charged yesterday. First Light looked around the base camp with annoyance. Clearly your equipment is malfunctioning. This is why we should have brought newer models. Blue Sky stayed quiet as they checked their own scanner. The energy readings from last night had grown stronger, forming patterns that looked almost like a heartbeat. They watched as the signal pulsed through the walls, following circuits hidden beneath years of dust. The team spread out through the facility, cataloging what they found. In one room, they discovered rows of strange crystals embedded in metallic frames. Stormwatch laughed as they examined them. Look at this primitive data storage. They were still using physical memory systems, they said, picking up one of the crystals. Our quantum networks can store more data in a single particle than all of these combined. But when they tried to break the crystal for analysis, their cutting tool sparked and shut down. The crystal didn't have a scratch. Defective equipment, Stormwatch muttered, hiding their confusion. We're having bad luck with our tools today. In another section, Fardream, the team's historian, found a sealed door. It was different from the others, sleeker, made of a dark material that seemed to absorb light. Their attempts to scan behind it failed completely. First Light, you need to see this, Fardream called out. There's something strange about this door. None of our tools can read through it. The team gathered around the mysterious entrance. Strange symbols glowed faintly along its frame, pulsing with a soft blue light. First Light studied them with growing frustration. More primitive artwork, they declared, though their voice held a hint of doubt. These humans love to decorate everything. Probably warnings about radiation or other dangers they couldn't handle properly. Blue Sky stepped closer to the door, their scanner beeping rapidly. The energy signature is strongest here. It matches the patterns I've been tracking since last night. What patterns? First Light demanded. Why wasn't I informed about this? Before Blue Sky could answer, a low hum filled the air. The symbols on the door brightened, and a series of clicks echoed through the corridor. The team stepped back, watching as lines of light began spreading across the walls like glowing veins. Everyone, back to camp. First Light ordered, their confidence slipping for the first time. Something's activating the old power systems. It could be dangerous. They retreated quickly, but their path was changed. Doors that had been open were now sealed. Corridors that had been dark now glowed with soft light. The facility was waking up around them, and they were being guided somewhere. This is impossible, Stormwatch whispered, watching their equipment fail one device after another. These systems should be dead. The humans couldn't have built anything that could last this long. They ended up in a large circular room they hadn't seen before. The walls were covered in dormant screens, and in the center stood a pedestal with a smooth black surface. First Light tried to maintain control of the situation. This is just residual power, random surges in old systems. Nothing to. The pedestal lit up, cutting off their words. A holographic display appeared above it, showing symbols that shifted and changed. The team watched in silence as their translation systems tried to decode the message. Finally, words appeared that everyone could read. Identity verification required. Please state your purpose. The aliens looked at each other, their earlier mockery forgotten. In the silence that followed, they could hear more systems coming online throughout the facility. The humans' ruins, it seemed, were no longer just ruins. And this was only the beginning. Dark clouds gathered above the ruins as the day turned to evening. The alien team huddled in the circular room, their earlier confidence replaced by nervous whispers. None of their equipment worked anymore, and the facility's systems continued to power up around them. First Light paced in front of the glowing pedestal. The message still hung in the air. Identity verification required. Please state your purpose. We are researchers. First Light finally spoke up. We came to study these ruins. The hologram flickered, then changed. Purpose noted. Research. Analyzing visitor species. Analysis complete. No previous contact with human civilization recorded. Thunder boomed outside, making the team jump. Rain began to fall, heavy drops hammering against the facility's outer walls. Blue Sky watched through a window as lightning split the sky. "The storm is directly above us," they said quietly. "The energy readings are getting stronger." Before anyone could respond, a massive lightning bolt struck the building. The impact shook the entire structure, and for a moment, everything went dark. Then, the facility exploded into life. Lights blazed throughout the complex. Hidden panels slid open in the walls, revealing rows of pristine machinery. The floor hummed with power, and the air filled with the sound of systems awakening from their long sleep. "Impossible," Stormwatch whispered, watching as their primitive surroundings transformed. "These systems, they're more advanced than anything we have." The hologram expanded, filling the room with three-dimensional images. They showed Earth as it once was, a thriving world full of towering cities and incredible machines. The aliens watched in stunned silence as the history of human civilization played out before them. Facility power restored. A new voice announced, smooth and clear. "I am Sentinel, custodian of this installation. Welcome to Earth Historical Site 7. First Light stepped forward, trying to maintain some authority. "Historical site. We were told this planet was abandoned after its species failed to advance." A soft laugh echoed through the room. "Failed to advance? How interesting. Tell me, can your species do this?" The air around them shimmered, and suddenly they were standing in what looked like open space. Stars swirled around them, and planets danced at their feet. The team huddled closer together, overwhelmed by the perfect holographic display. "Or perhaps this," Sentinel continued. A human appeared before them, so real they could see the threads in its clothing. It walked through their group, its image completely solid and detailed. "Hard light holograms," Blue Sky breathed. "We thought they were impossible." Fardream reached out to touch a floating display, their hand passing through data streams that felt like cool water. "All this time, we thought we were so advanced. But these humans, they surpassed you long ago," Sentinel finished. "This facility is not a ruin. It is a museum, a small fragment of human achievement preserved for future species to find." The storm outside grew stronger, and with each lightning strike, more systems activated. Deep underground, massive machines hummed to life. Through the windows, the team could see other buildings in the complex beginning to glow with power. "But where are the humans now?" First Light asked, their voice small in the vast room. The holographic displays shifted again, showing images that the aliens struggled to understand. Structures that seemed to exist in multiple dimensions at once. Beams of pure energy and thought. Technologies that broke the laws of physics as they knew them. "The humans evolved beyond their physical forms," Sentinel explained. "What you see here is what they left behind. A gift for species mature enough to understand it." Another lightning bolt struck the facility, and new doorways opened around the room. Through them, the team could see laboratories, libraries, and workshops, all filled with technology far beyond their understanding. "Now," Sentinel said, its voice both welcoming and serious, "shall we begin your real education?" The aliens looked at each other, their earlier mockery forgotten. The human ruins had awakened, and nothing would ever be the same. Sentinel led the alien team through corridors that seemed to stretch forever. Each room they passed contained wonders that challenged everything they thought they knew. First Light had stopped trying to take notes. Their datapad had stopped working hours ago, like all their other technology. "This chamber holds our basic physics research," Sentinel explained, opening a massive door that sparkled like diamonds. Inside, tiny stars floated in the air, complete solar systems spun in corners, and strange devices hummed with power. "Basic?" Stormwatch asked, their voice shaking. "This is basic to humans. Indeed, Sentinel replied. This was elementary school level for the last generation of physical humans, before they moved beyond such simple matters. Blue Sky stopped in front of a small cube floating in midair. Inside it, they could see what looked like a new universe being born. How is this possible? The energy needed to create this is less than what your ship uses to make coffee. Sentinel finished. Humans learned to be efficient before they learned to be powerful. That was their first great lesson. First Light watched as their team moved through the room, their earlier arrogance replaced by wonder. You said physical humans. What did they become? The air shimmered, and the room transformed. They stood in what looked like a great city, but one that broke all the rules of physics. Buildings flowed like water, roads curved through dimensions that shouldn't exist, and beings of pure light walked among structures made of thought. They became this, Sentinel said softly. They learned to change their bodies into energy, their minds into quantum computers, their souls into something new. They became beings of pure consciousness, able to explore not just space, but reality itself. Far Dream sat down heavily on a step that appeared just in time to catch them. All this time, we thought we were the advanced ones. We treated this place like a primitive ruin. Many do, Sentinel agreed. That is part of the test. Those who come with respect are welcomed. Those who come with arrogance learn humility. Those who come with violence. The AI paused meaningfully. They learn other lessons. The room shifted again, returning to its original form. But now the team could see the true complexity of what they had dismissed as simple decoration. Every pattern in the walls was a circuit. Every crystal was a computer more powerful than their entire planet's combined technology. Why show us this? First Light asked. Why trust us with this knowledge after we treated your legacy with such disrespect? Sentinel's hologram smiled. Because you learned. Because when faced with evidence that challenged your beliefs, you chose wonder over denial. Humans left these facilities for species like yours. Those who can learn, who can grow. And the humans themselves. Blue Sky asked, are they gone forever? A soft laugh filled the room. Gone. No, they are everywhere. Watching. Waiting. This facility is more than a museum. It's a doorway. Humanity spread themselves across the cosmos, seeded themselves into the quantum fabric of space itself. When they find species ready to join them, the air sparkled with points of light, like stars coming down to dance around them. Each light contained images, human achievements, human art, human dreams. The alien team stood in awe as the story of Earth's children unfolded around them. Your civilization stands at a crossroads, Sentinel continued. You have achieved much, but you have far to go. The humans left these places as stepping stones, helping hands for younger races. The AI's voice grew serious. The question is, are you ready to learn? First Light looked at their team, saw the wonder in their eyes, the hunger for knowledge that had replaced their earlier scorn. They turned back to Sentinel and spoke the words that would change their civilization forever. Teach us. The peaceful moment of learning was suddenly interrupted by a deep rumbling that shook the entire facility. Red lights began flashing through the corridors, and Sentinel's hologram flickered with urgency. Warning, the AI announced. Planetary network reactivation sequence initiated. All visitor species must undergo immediate evaluation protocols. First Light looked around in alarm as heavy doors slid shut, sealing them in. What's happening? What evaluation protocols? The facility's awakening has triggered similar installations across the planet, Sentinel explained, its voice now stern. The network is reestablishing itself. As per human safety protocols, all present alien life forms must be evaluated for compatibility and threat level. Stormwatch pressed against one of the sealed doors. Threat level? We're just researchers. Your species' technology has been analyzed, Sentinel continued. Your ship's weapon systems have been detected. Standard procedure requires threat assessment before further access is granted. The room's walls became transparent, showing them views from around the world. Everywhere, similar facilities were lighting up. Great towers rose from beneath the earth, and massive machines hummed to life. The planet itself seemed to be waking up. "What are those?" Fardream asked, pointing at enormous structures emerging from the oceans. "Planetary defense systems," Sentinel replied calmly. "Currently running at 0.001% power, enough to destroy a small fleet." The alien team huddled together as their surroundings transformed. The room filled with floating screens, each displaying different tests and puzzles. Strange devices emerged from the walls, waiting for their interaction. "You have one planetary rotation to complete the evaluation," Sentinel announced. "You must prove your species' wisdom matches its technological advancement. Failure will result in memory adjustment and removal from the facility." Blue Sky stepped forward, examining one of the puzzles. "These aren't just tests of intelligence," they said quietly. "They're testing our ethics, our ability to think beyond ourselves." First Light watched as their engineer began solving the first puzzle, which involved directing energy to different systems. The solution wasn't about efficiency. It was about finding a way to help all systems work together. "Your species has developed quantum tunneling, yet still wages wars," Sentinel observed. "You have mastered faster than light travel, but haven't solved poverty on your own worlds." Humans left these facilities to help guide younger races away from such mistakes. More screens activated, showing the team's own civilization. They saw their wars, their pollution, their inequality, all from an outside perspective. It was a harsh mirror to look into. "The evaluation begins now," Sentinel declared. "Work together or fail separately. Show us you can learn from humanity's journey." The puzzles glowed, waiting for solutions. Some required technical skills, others needed emotional intelligence. Many could only be solved by the team working together, setting aside their hierarchy and pride. "We need to split up," First Light decided, showing unexpected wisdom. "Stormwatch, take the engineering puzzles. Fardream, focus on the historical analysis. Blue Sky, you handle the energy distribution problems. You'll listen to their ideas and learn to be a true leader," Sentinel finished. "That is your test." Outside, the storm had grown stronger. Lightning connected the awakened facilities in a web of power, and the ground shook as more ancient systems activated. The planet was transforming around them, revealing its true nature as a vast test site and library of human achievement. The team looked at each other, understanding the gravity of their situation. They had come seeking knowledge of a primitive civilization. Now they had to prove they were worthy of the real truth, or have everything they'd learned taken away. "Let's begin," First Light said, facing the first puzzle. "We have much to prove and much to learn." Hours passed as the alien team worked through the challenges. Sweat beaded on their scales as they faced puzzle after puzzle, each one testing not just their intelligence, but their hearts. Blue Sky stood before a complex energy distribution problem. The solution seemed simple at first: direct power to the most important systems. But then they noticed something interesting. "Look," they called to the others. "If we reduce power to our section slightly, we can supply energy to these smaller systems that help local wildlife. It's not about maximum efficiency, it's about helping everyone." First Light nodded, finally understanding. They were working on their own puzzle, one that showed different alien civilizations in conflict. The obvious solution was to pick the strongest side and help them win. But that wasn't the answer humans were looking for. "We need to find a way to help them all survive," First Light said. "War isn't the answer. Cooperation is." Sentinel's hologram watched them with growing approval. As the team solved more puzzles, the facility began sharing deeper secrets. Walls became windows into humanity's past, showing them how humans had faced and overcome the same challenges. "Your species stands where humanity once stood," Sentinel explained, displaying scenes from Earth's history. They too had to choose between power and wisdom, between conquest and cooperation. Stormwatch paused in their work, watching scenes of human civilization transforming itself. They could have conquered the galaxy with this technology. Why didn't they? Because they learned a greater truth, Sentinel replied. True power isn't about control. It's about understanding. Humans didn't ascend because they conquered the universe. They ascend because they learned to become one with it. Far Dream studied historical records that showed humanity's journey. They faced extinction several times. They noted climate disasters, wars, plagues. But each time they survived by working together. The facility hummed with energy as more systems came online. Through the windows, they could see the transformed surface of Earth. What had looked like ruins now shone with power and purpose. Great towers of light reached into the sky, connecting to satellites that had hidden in plain sight for centuries. Humanity left all this, First Light mused, taking a break from their puzzles. Not as a weapon, not as a show of power, but as a teaching tool. They wanted to help other species avoid their mistakes. Sentinel nodded, its hologram growing brighter. And now you begin to truly understand. This facility, this entire planet, is not a museum of what humanity was. It is a seed of what they hoped other species could become. The team gathered around a central platform where a new hologram appeared. It showed the galaxy, but not as they had ever seen it before. Layers of reality they had never imagined became visible. And there, woven through it all, they saw them. Human consciousness, transformed into beings of pure energy and thought, watching over the younger races. They're still here, Blue Sky whispered. All this time, they've been watching, waiting, hoping someone would understand. And learning, Sentinel added. Humans never stopped learning, never stopped growing. They seeded themselves through space and time, becoming guardians of life itself. But they never forgot where they came from. The facility's lights softened, and new doors opened, revealing chambers filled with knowledge waiting to be shared. The team's earlier tests had been passed, showing they were ready for more. You have proven yourselves worthy of the first level of understanding, Sentinel announced. Now shall we begin your real education? Are you ready to learn what humanity discovered about the true nature of existence? The alien team looked at each other, their earlier arrogance replaced by humble curiosity. They had come seeking remnants of a dead civilization. Instead, they had found the doorway to a greater universe. One full Earth year had passed since the facility's awakening. The alien team stood in the main chamber, but they were no longer the same beings who had first entered the ruins with such arrogance. Their eyes held new wisdom, and their posture showed humble confidence. You have completed the basic training program, Sentinel announced, its hologram glowing with approval. Your species has been deemed ready for first-stage integration with human knowledge networks. First Light looked at their team with pride. Each of them had grown in different ways. Stormwatch had learned to see beyond pure technology. Far Dream had discovered history wasn't just about the past. Blue Sky had unlocked secrets of energy they had never imagined possible. What happens now? First Light asked, their voice carrying none of its old authority, only curiosity. The facility's walls shifted, revealing a vast chamber they had never seen before. In its center floated a crystal sphere that pulsed with soft light. As they watched, it projected images of their homeworld. Your civilization stands at a crossroads, Sentinel explained. With the knowledge you have gained, you must now help guide your people toward a better path. But you won't be alone. The spheres split into 4 smaller crystals, each floating toward a member of the team. As they carefully took them, the crystals bonded with their environmental suits, becoming part of their equipment. These are seed crystals, Sentinel said. They contain a small fragment of human knowledge, adapted specifically for your species. They will help you guide your civilization away from war and toward cooperation, away from destruction and toward creation. Blue Sky studied their crystal with wonder. We can feel it, connecting with us, teaching us. Yes, Sentinel smiled. And as your species proves itself worthy, more knowledge will be unlocked. Humanity's greatest gift was learning how to teach others without overwhelming them. Through the facility's windows, they could see other alien ships landing. More species were arriving, drawn by the activation of Earth's network. Each would be tested, each would be taught if they proved worthy. Earth is now officially registered as a Category 7 protected site. First Light announced, reading from a new document they had prepared. Our people will help guard this knowledge, help guide other species here when they're ready. Sentinel's hologram expanded, showing them the galaxy again. But now they could see it clearly. Thousands of worlds like Earth, each holding pieces of human knowledge, each teaching different species in different ways. Humanity's greatest achievement wasn't their technology. Fardream said, understanding at last. It was learning how to share their wisdom without destroying younger civilizations with it. Stormwatch touched their crystal gently. All this time, we thought we were exploring dead ruins, but we were actually being explored ourselves. Tested, taught. The facility hummed with power as new visitors arrived. The team prepared to leave, to return to their homeworld with their precious knowledge crystals. But before they left, Sentinel had one final message. Remember, the AI said, its voice carrying the wisdom of humanity. The crystals are not weapons. They are not tools of power. They are seeds of understanding. Plant them wisely. Nurture them carefully. Watch them grow. First Light looked back at the facility one last time as they prepared to leave. The ruins they had once mocked now stood proud and powerful, its true purpose revealed. Above it, the sky rippled with energy as humanity's consciousness washed over their legacy. We came looking for remnants of a dead civilization, First Light said to their team. Instead, we found the beginning of our own species' rebirth. As they boarded their ship, the crystals pulsed with soft light, ready to begin their work. Behind them, Earth stood proud, no longer a monument to the past, but a beacon for the future. The humans hadn't died out or abandoned their world. They had turned it into something greater, a school for the galaxy's children, waiting for students wise enough to learn.